Hello everybody, House Striggity here. I'm just doing another video. This one's dealing with ISTPs and ISFPs and their use of the auxiliary sensing extroverted sensing function in a defensive manner. Um, Probably said that. But so what I'm looking at here is the idea that everybody kind of wants to be in that dominant tertiary loop. And how do you maintain that, or what do you end up doing? From what I've read on the subject, it seems like that people are using their second function, their auxiliary function, which is reasonably developed and useful to them in their life, to kind of take care of some business, or just they just use it just enough, so that they can excuse themselves into their looping world. And for ISTPs and ISFPs, this looping world would be with their judging introverted function on top, and then down to their introverted intuition down in the tertiary. So, and I think this one actually is one that I've seen a decent amount of. I think a good way of looking at this is like I've known ISFPs at least to kind of like spend a lot of time spend a lot of time that could be spent enjoying life, which is kind of weird from my perspective, because like I don't know, I wake up in the morning. It's not saying I never whatever, but I would prefer to be in the spot where your eyes snap open in the morning and you're just like, whoa, I got stuff to do. And you just like, there's so many things either that you must do or that you would like to do, preferably that you would like to do, but it's just there or whatever. But the ISFPs, at least, I've had some interactions where it's been more like, I can't do this or I can't do that because it's not as good as it could be. And with my personal experience, especially, it has been living in the Midwest, ISFP, and some other types that had the extroverted sensing, I guess, that not as dominant, but either auxiliary or I guess any other position besides dominant extroverted sensing, where they'd kind of be like, it's cold outside and you can't do anything, and life would be so much better if you're like living in a jungle, and just kind of like spending all that time like Eeyoring about how sensually like unpleasant certain circumstances were, and thinking about circumstances that would be better. But like I don't understand how you can spend that much time like just kind of thinking about it. So maybe that would relate to a lot of other types too. But so just like it's like, I don't know, I'd almost be more utilitarian on the subject, or something. Is it's almost like, if going outside for a walk in the snow or going out and enjoying the snow with your friends is worth 50 units of happiness, and being on a beach where it's sunny is worth 100 units of happiness, where does sitting on the couch complaining for 2 hours about the 50 units of happiness and 100 units of happiness example, where does that fit in? But I think that's also partially. I think that misunderstanding is due, one, my lack of touch most of the time with extroverted sensation, and not getting the idea of living in the moment like that aesthetic pleasure for like aesthetic beauty and some of these other things, whatever. But there's that ignorance on my part, but I also think it's a defensive use of the function. So I mean, you could still have units of happiness out there if you weren't making the excuse that, well, there's so many more units of happiness, in this other place, and well, yeah, so what? It's over there. Why don't you still have fun today? Because like, it's not like you're working or doing something, it's not like you're doesn't seem like you're doing anything either productive or enjoyable. So what's the point? You know, so I feel like, so I feel that way. I feel that ISFPs and ISTPs have the potential to miss out on a lot of life that way, and that's probably a really big judgment call for me to be throwing out there. But I've experienced it. I've seen it quite a bit, and I can't help but remember Celebach's video where he's like, Celebach is an ISTP in the YouTube community, and I can't help but remember his video when he's like, you know, something like he flew out to the East Coast and just kind of drove around or something. And, you know, I don't know what it took for him to do that, or I don't know what, but my experience with some ISFPs and ISTPs is that they might, you know, want to do something like that and put off, you know, not doing something fun in the moment and not, you know, whatever. But until they go out and do that, I don't know that they're always, you know, getting the enjoyment that they have such a zest for life when they're actually living in the moment. It's basically, I'm basically saying it's a beautiful thing to see an ISTP or an ISFP living in the moment and enjoying life. They're so alive, and I wish the best for them that way. I mean, I wish that they could see that, so that I just I do remember that. I remember watching Celebach's video and just being so happy for him that he found that happiness of, you know, whatever it is. Like a lot of ISTPs and potentially ISFPs take up, you know, motorcycle riding or something, and they get a motorcycle and they just ride, and they just are happy and free spirited with it. And I think that's a really, really cool thing. So I was really happy to hear that in his video, and I think it really relates to the topic. So what I'm looking to do here is waste some time so I don't have to get productive things done, because it's more fun to make videos. And but what I'm really looking to do is looking to explore, you know, via talking, looking to explore some of these thoughts. And then but I'd like to, you know, if it helps somebody actually understand that, you know, okay, am I in a loop or not? Because I think the loops really do confuse the whole thing, especially for the people that are only taking online tests. I think the dominant tertiary loops can get in the way. And then even for people that are, you know, do have good understanding of the MBTI, understanding your defensive use of your auxiliary function is eye-opening, because you can maybe step back and, oops, I broke the pen I was screwing around with. Maybe you can step back and realize that you're in a loop and kind of back out of it a little bit, and then also reappreciate or learn to better appreciate the true strengths of your auxiliary function. So I think, yeah, I think that's where that's at. So I would, I hope that one of the ISFPs or ISTPs finds this useful in some manner, shape, or form, and goes out and, you know, gets those tattoos they always wanted to get, or, you know, those, you know, whatever it is. And then I, you know, it's my bad. I was the one that said it. So, but whatever it is that they do take to live life that way, because I've watched that, and that I dated an ISFP for a number of years, and it, you know, it was like, if, you know, you need to live someplace warm was kind of the deal. It was like, if you need to live someplace warm to be happy, I don't even think you're just talking about it. I think it's the case. You need to move someplace warm to be happy. It's not fun to watch somebody like not be happy. So, so I'm hoping that this video is helpful to somebody, and I already said that. So, but I think I actually knew a little bit more about this one than I did the INTP, INFP. So, thanks for watching, and check out my channel.